I'm Ernest with Life is Storytelling, aka your favorite new Resident Evil fan, and shortly after completing RE2, I was able to finish up with Resident Evil 3. Let's talk about it. So it's my understanding that the community, specifically the OG Resident Evil fans that played the original Resident Evil 3, are not so high on this remake. And I think I understand why. It is my understanding that this has about 30% of the content that the original had, which feels like a small amount, and this did feel like a pretty quick and breezy game. And it is a bit of a shame that I am missing out on some of that original content, but it's kind of what I'm into right now, just because I am looking forward to moving forward in the series and eventually making it to that Resident Evil 9. So right now, the only thing that I have to compare it to is the Resident Evil 2 remake. And I will say that this does feel much more refined, much more sharp. And I did have a good time with the characters, with the story, and the adventure as a whole. Jill is an absolute badass, and I'm super happy that I got hands-on with her, especially considering that I skipped over Resident Evil 1. And yes, I understand that Leon eventually turns into a killing, badass, one-lining machine, but Jill's probably my favorite so far in the series. Carlos also felt like a really cool addition. Shout out to my boy Los. Representation for the win. He really did feel like a solid character and added to the story for me, especially after experiencing the split narrative that just kind of repeated itself in Resident Evil 2 between those two characters. Nikolai is an absolute bastard and fills the villain role pretty well, but I do feel like he's one of those villains that's just kind of evil for evil's sake. Like, driven by greed is something that we've seen done over and over again, and just ruining a whole city, killing all these people, or dooming them to death really does feel like, there could be more there. And with that cut content, maybe I'm missing something. Feel free to let me know. Aside from the crisp gameplay itself, and Jill of course, Nemesis is probably my favorite part of the game. I'm starting to understand that Resident Evil as a whole is always going to put some big kind of monster or a scary person in front of you and have you run from them for the entire game. And when it comes to those types of characters, I have to say I super prefer him over Mr. X from Resident Evil 2. Every time he's chasing you, it feels like he's pushing you towards an objective, which I can't say for Mr. X, so shout out to Nemesis. Overall, I did have a good time with it, but again, it did feel pretty short, and I know this released for $60 back in the day. I'm super happy that I got it on sale. So we're gonna go ahead and go with a 8 out of 10. Once again, I did have a great time, but let me know what you think in the comments. And for more gaming news, reviews, and everything nerdy, be sure to like and follow.